What up, people? It's me again, back for another episode on the vlogs. Episode 2 this week. It's Monday. So, like last Monday, we're starting it off positively, like we did before. Always think of those plans that you're going to have for the week. Think of the goal that you want to achieve. Think of those little steps that you're going to get to achieve those goals. Okay? It's been a manic week for me. Done lots of exercise, had lots of fun. My parents came up from Reading on Thursday, which was fantastic. First time I've seen them since lockdown. We had an amazing day on Friday together. Spent time with the kids. My mum and dad were having fun. I'm going to post some videos of my mum on the space hopper and things like that. It was crazy fun times. Really enjoyed it. And then on Saturday, me and Rachel, my girlfriend, went on a road trip to pick up my exercise bike from a family member. So that was quite cool. We did some fun in the car. We had like 20 questions, boyfriend and girlfriend edition. We also basically did some carpool karaoke. If I can get it all edited, I will get it into this video. If not, it'll be in a future video. Cecil, the exercise bike, is now back with us. We got back late last night and that's all been put up. So I've got an exercise bike basically that I'm going to be using as well as a stepper. So it's all good things. Remember, at the end of this episode, there will be a weigh-in. We're going to look to see exactly where we stand with that. Is it good? Is it bad news? Who knows? You'll have to stay tuned to find out. With me wrong. What it was. Things at the table. Rise to love. Nothing to nothing. Everything in my own.
That's strong enough for both of us.
Yep. Both of us. Do you want me to start that game? Now the room saying stormy weather. A 57 Mount Pleasant Street. It's the same, but everything's different. The famous thing, but not the tree. The same clean, the bright kitchen. Strange tension, special need. Julius Caesar, Roman Empire, Jesus and curse. Peace, and I died like a lounging lizard, everything with breath released. Where you go, always take the weather with you. Everywhere you go, always take the weather. Everywhere you go, where it began. I can't begin to know it, but that I know it's growing strong. Wasn't the spring, and spring became the song. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Touch your hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you, sweet Caroline. Bum, bum, bum.
20 questions, boyfriend edition, 20-ish anyway. What's your favourite colour?
Green.
What is your favourite meal of the non-diet variety?
The non-diet variety. My mum's massaka and lasagna.
What's your favourite meal of the diet variety?
The wraps we've been doing. I like the wraps, the tuna wraps and stuff like that, and salady wraps and bacon wraps.
If you was a superhero, what would your power be? And what colour would your uniform be? Would you have a cape?
No to capes. Capes suck you into engines, remember?
Yeah.
That's what they said on the
Impossibles.
No,
Yeah.
impossible.
It's not impossibles, is it? No.
What's it called? What would it be? Probably super strength, and my I'd have to go for green, wouldn't I? Because green's my favourite colour. So dark green boots, light green tights and lycra, dark green pants with yellow belt.
Oh, okay. Green and yellow.
Green mask.
Still trying to think of what that film is.
I'm sounding like green, aren't
Yeah.
Incredibles.
Incredibles. The Incredibles, not the Impossibles. The Incredibles. I don't know.
Incredibles.
Yeah, we're very tired. Very tired.
Day 2 of road trip.
Yes, day 2 of road trip.
But we do have a bike in the back.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Go on.
If you had one thing, if you could suggest one thing to make the world a better place, what would it be?
For everyone to be kind to one another.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Enough.
If everyone is kind to one another, it would be a better place.
Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me.
Can I change it now? Can I change my answer? I've got a better answer.
Go for it.
For you not to have to sing anymore.
Okay.
How rude!
No more car karaoke.
No, for people to be nice.
Are you a morning person?
Am I a morning person?
Yes.
I do like a good lay-in when I'm tired, but I do much prefer to be up in the morning and get the day started.
And he's not grumpy in the morning.
And I'm not grumpy in the morning. I don't do grumpiness in the morning.
No. Do you snore?
I used to, until I got my sleep app machine.
Yes.
And now I look like a Teletubby and don't snore.
Yeah, he looks like Poe.
Teeny weeny. Really? Teeny weeny?
Teletubby. Tinky Winky. La la.
Oh.
Dipsy.
I don't know.
Oh.
Who knows? I'm probably Dipsy actually.
I don't
Never
know.
mind.
I don't know.
But yeah, I look like a Teletubby with my sleep app, but I've got a sleep app machine.
And it comes out the top of his head.
Make it sound like a breather on top of my head.
Yeah, you do. The hair comes out the top of your head and then goes round, goes in your mouth or up your nose.
But yes, I don't snore with that, but I did before.
And did last night because we don't have the app.
We weren't planning on staying over.
No. And then question something, number something.
Numero something.
Your favourite colour car?
My favourite colour car? Ooh, I quite like the colour of the car I've got at the moment, which is kind of like a gunmetal grey. It's kind of like darkish grey kind of.
What colour did I say it was? Green?
Yeah, you used to say my car was green.
Yeah.
Even though it's exactly the same colour as your car.
My car is
Exactly.
blue and Brett is green.
And you used to say your car was green. No. Quite how you got that wrong, I don't know. But yeah, I quite like this kind of colour. Only suits certain cars, but I like it in my car, I like it in your car.
Do you believe in UFOs? And aliens? Aliens?
Well, I must believe in aliens, but I go out one.
Yes.
Aliens?
Excuse my hair.
Yeah, why not? Why not believe in UFOs and aliens and other life forms? I think there's got to be something more out there somewhere.
Cool. And then on that question, what do you think happens to you after you die?
After you die?
Yes. What would you like to happen?
Well, I think I become compost or ashes.
Okay, yeah, but what would you like to happen?
I'd like to believe in reincarnation, come back as like a goat or something. Meh. That's a sheep, but never mind.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Tree climbing.
Kingy, no comment on basically sheep, so I know how much you like me talking about sheep.
Look at that car.
That's a rather cool car.
Yeah. It's a BMW. It's an IE. A 1.3.
It's electric.
Okay. Would you rather holiday at the beach or in the woods? Like have a woodland cabin with a lake, or if it's not too hot, at the beach and have like a beach hut?
It all depends as to where we would be in the world.
Somewhere not too hot.
I don't know. I like the idea of beach holidays when I've been to places like Malaysia and stuff like that. It's quite nice. But I also really like the idea of a log cabin and just sort of like snuggling down with an open fire. It'd be really nice and romantic and quite cool. So I like that idea too. But I also like the idea of going sightseeing around cities and doing city holidays.
Okay.
So I'd love to do that as well. We just need to get you your passport and we need to get you over your fear of flying. You're like, no, I tell you no.
No, my feet stay on the ground. My feet stay on
Well, they would be on the ground because they'd be on the ground of the plane, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but the plane's not on anything, it's floating.
It's not floating, it's flying.
Flying and floating are the same thing, there's nothing underneath it.
It's air. The ground is underneath it, just a long way down. Anyway, these are your questions, not mine.
Yeah. If you had to name a rose, what would you call it?
That is a good question.
And what colour would it be?
I like two kind of tone roses because I like them when they're white with like a maroon around the outside, or maroon with like a white around the outside.
Yeah.
And they're like the hybrid ones where they cut two roses into one another, so they go like that. I can't remember what they're called. I can't remember what they're called. There's an exact word for them. I'd probably call it the Potato Girl rose.
Potato girl.
There is a reason behind Potato Girl, as it's your nickname.
Potato girl.
No, probably not Potato. I'd probably call it, I don't know.
Potato.
Potato.
Potato. Okay, if something happened to the world and there was like an apocalypse and they built like something in the sky or in space, and you had the choice of either going to live in space or going to live under the ocean, so you could see all the fish and everything, and which one would you choose?
Space without a doubt, because I've got a fear of drowning.
But you'll be in like this massive safety bubble.
It's still
and
underground.
stuff.
It's still underground in the sea. That could crack at any point and go, whoa. No.
But
Space,
yeah,
space all day long.
Yeah, but space, if that cracks, then you'll suffocate.
Yeah, no, I'm good with being sucked.
Instant.
I'm being sucked in. I'm being good at being sucked into space. I was really into that.
Where's that?
You got a one-track mind, girl.
No, you have got a one-track mind.
I was talking about being sucked out of the spacecraft, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Station.
It's all on you, this.
But what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about basically that big stigma question, that big stigma thing that goes around mental health, and more importantly, what mental health was for me, how I suffered, and from there, take it forward. Okay, we'll discuss the impacts it had on me in the binge eating in another episode. This is more about basically the start of it, how I felt. Now, I'm no expert when it comes to mental health. All I can do is just share my experience and what basically happened with me. Share what things I found that helped, what things didn't help, and how I'm combating it going forward. Okay, so as you know from the last vlog that we did and everything, at the very beginning when I talked about binge eating disorder and everything, I told you how I started suffering from mental health issues and how it came about from a serious illness that I'd got from basically blood clots, etc. And just slowly getting to the stage where I didn't feel myself. So depression and anxiety isn't something that basically I woke up with one day and it was just there. Okay, that's not how it worked in any way, shape or form. I don't think it works for anybody in that way. So everybody has sad days and bad days. It's just part of life, isn't it? Okay, all of us basically have at least one bad day a week, if not more. The way that I found with depression and anxiety is that those bad days were getting more and more common. Once a week, twice a week, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. And then it was getting to a stage where it was taking over my whole week. And the whole week was sad. And then I think, well, next week will be better. Well, next week was better, but then the following week was bad again. And then it's getting to a stage where it's taking over every month as well. That's when I really started to know that I had issues with depression, anxiety. Things were starting to creep up on me. But being a man, I felt that that was a weakness and something that basically shouldn't happen to me. I was young, again, it's something that I didn't feel that basically as a 26-year-old that should be happening to me at all. I didn't feel that it was something I could come out and actually tell people about. At the time, there's a lot of stigma around mental health. There were some people that think that basically they could just say that they suffered from stress and depression, so it's an easy way to get some time off work through basically saying that you're ill through that, when that's not the case. There was people who would say, just pull yourself together. They would say silly throwaway comments like, oh, you choose to be happy. Well, no, I can't choose to be happy. My life was just in this rut that you could not get out of, and it's this ever decreasing circle. It's going round and round and round, and it's a bit like a whirlwind. The best way to explain it is when you pull the plug out of the bath and basically the water starts to do the whirlpool as it goes down and it pulls you down. That is depression. You start off and you're kind of like swimming against the tide and you're not going into that whirlpool. But the more you swim, the harder you fight, the more closer you get to the stage where that pool is so strong, it's pulling you down and down and down and down and down until you're at the very bottom. Now, for some people, that will end in basically horrible consequences. People basically turn to different addictions. People will turn to basically self-harm, and in the most severe cases, people will take their lives. Now, I have said I've felt suicidal before, and I have basically had times where basically I've contemplated on taking my own life. Now, I'm not proud of that, but it's something that does happen with depression. It's something that needs to be addressed. if we look at basically some of the statistics, 1 in 4 people will basically suffer from some sort of mental health issue per year. Mental health is the single biggest disability that's in the UK at this moment in time. Men are 3 times more likely to take their own life than women are. So just because you can't see this disability or this illness doesn't mean that it needs to be treated any less, more seriously than anything else. Okay. So for me, when I did admit that I was suffering from stress and depression, it took a lot. I broke down at the doctors and told them everything. And they were good. They basically said you need to take some tablets and basically keeping track with them. They started me off on citalopram and now on fluoxetine. But there was no mention of basically counselling or help or anything along those lines. That came via work. We have a employee assistance program we have at the work. Now, I started off with counselling to start with. Counselling was really good. It helped me no end. I basically talked through the whole of my life from start to finish. They dragged things up that I didn't think that I ever wanted to talk about before, and they came out, and it was good to get them out. It was good to talk about them. Now, the counselling sessions, I had 2 separate basically courses of counselling, and over the time, as I said, I mean, they were generally good, but the depression was still always there in the background. It never really left me. The anxiety was pretty bad. I would get really anxious about doing the simplest of things, like going out. If there's a big group of people, especially if it's a group of teenagers or something to that effect, then yes, that would cause me to get very anxious. That would cause me to get upset. I wouldn't want to go to past this group in any way, shape or form. I stopped going into town because I was getting worse and worse. I didn't like big groups. I didn't like going into crowded places. I withdrew myself from group activities. I'd make excuses not to turn up for work meals or work dues for the simple reason is basically I just didn't like the group. Not the group of people, but I didn't like being in a group of people. The people that I worked with were fantastic. I got on with them, but I just did not want to socialise. I started to find that basically things that I enjoyed in life were no longer giving me enjoyment. All the things that I used to like, my sport, going out places, music, all sorts of things, the enjoyment level, I could listen to them, I could listen to music, I could watch sport, but I'd sit there not finding any enjoyment out of it whatsoever. And that's another stage of depression, is that basically the things that you want to enjoy in life, you just don't enjoy anymore. Feeling lethargic and having bouts of insomnia where basically you can't sleep at night, or other cases where you can oversleep, and I would stay in bed as long as I possibly could, not wanting to start my day, not wanting to start that positive week. And that would get into basically some of the unhelpful thinking patterns that we'll talk about later. Now, through my occupational health at work, they suggested that we looked at CBT therapy. Now, there's a fantastic CBT therapist that came into work called Ian Brooks. He was the most amazing person ever and taught me so much about CBT and how to basically counteract the issues that I found and to work my way forward. And again, I had 2 separate courses of them. The first course that I ever had, we talked about 18 unhelpful thinking patterns. And a lot of those thinking patterns, a lot of people do. So I just need to move my glasses. Right. So, I mean, I'll list them off now, and you'll probably sit there and think, well, yes, I do that, or no, I don't do that, or that's just normal. But realistically, these unhelpful thinking patterns all add up, and it all basically are things that I needed to change. So I was terrible at basically black and white thinking, all or nothing. It's either good or it's bad. There's no in between. So if someone would say to me, oh, you've handled this call not so well, but this part has been done better, I would take the bad out of that straight away. And that basically I was rubbish at my job. Overgeneralising. Things are always going to be this way. Things are always rubbish. The next part of basically the 18 helpful thinking patterns was mental filter. So the filter is exactly basically like a filter does. Okay. Normally you'd filter out all the impurities. Well, this was filtering out all the good things and leaving the impurities in there. So people could tell me a host of things and I would only take out what information I felt was needed myself. So I might take away all the good things that people have said and not basically not let them filter through and just leave the negatives coming through. That was the mental filtering. That was never going to be helpful. Disqualifying basically things that are good that had happened, because good things wouldn't happen to somebody who's depressive, and just throwing them away. Jumping to conclusions, assuming that people would basically what they were thinking, or assuming basically I've had this illness, so next time I get ill, that's going to be the same thing happening again. Not leaving it to professionals to basically do their jobs. Magnification, magnifying basically all the small things so it became a massive thing, making mountains out of molehills, so to speak. Not really a very helpful way to think of things. Emotional thinking, assuming because I'm feeling this way, it will always feel this way. So when I used to wake up in the morning, if I felt woke up in a bad mood or just basically sad or anything like that, I'd automatically emotionally think that that's it, this day's going to be like that. That turned into this week's going to be like that, and then turns into this month's going to be like that. This one was always an interesting one, and its use of critical words. Now this helped me no end. Uses of the words by putting should in places and putting pressure on myself to do things like I should be better at my job. I should be able to do this. I should be able to do that. Those words don't help, and just changing them up into better words like I prefer to do this, or I am good at my job. Labeling is a terrible thing, where basically I'd label myself as being stupid or bad or basically thick or not being able to do stuff. Personalization, really sitting there and not basically picking up anything I need to out of things and not making them personal to myself, but basically just bad ways of thinking. These 18 unhelpful thinking patterns that basically he mentioned, there are only some of them that are on there. I know everybody suffers from basically looking at things in different ways. We all do. But that really helped me start to turn around the depression. Now it was still coming in waves, and I was having better weeks, I was having bad weeks. I would take enjoyment out of things again, but then I'd throw that enjoyment away by making rash bad decisions with the overgeneralization of things. What I'd never fully admitted was the binge eating. That had never been fully addressed in any of these sessions. That's something I'd kept locked fully down in the most darkest place of my brain. And I wasn't willing to let that go. That wasn't till I came out to the doctor and advised him of what I was doing, and he told me about basically the binge eating. Did that actually come out in a CBT therapy session? And then I got reminded by Ian about these 18 unhelpful thinking patterns again, and how what I was doing with my food was basically the same as these 18 unhelpful thinking patterns. I was using the food as a way of coping, when I shouldn't have been doing. Now, I'm not going to lie to anybody, okay? I still suffer depressive episodes to this day. They will come and they will go. The thing is, I now have the tools to help move myself on. I have the tools to be able to look forward in my life. I am a lot more happier in my life these days. I know for this video I haven't been smiling an awful lot, but we have been talking about a serious thing that is very close to my heart. But life is just so much better now. I've surrounded myself with people that I trust. I've surrounded myself with friends and family. I know I'm loved. I know I'm cared for. I've got the most amazing girlfriend in the world. She supports me through everything that I do. She gives me ideas. She's the sounding board that comes with me. She's the building blocks for my future. So all I can say to people is that if you are feeling down, if you are feeling depressed, please reach out, okay? Don't think you have to go through this alone. Don't think that basically you're the only person that's having this. There's loads of people in the world, in the UK, everywhere, that are suffering from basically mental health issues. Please talk. If it's just a case that you pick up the phone to one of the places, the Samaritan's Mind or somewhere like that, if it's a case that you're just going to your GP and admitting it, or you admit to a family member or a friend that you're feeling down, just please talk. Let's help each other. We'll make the world a better place if we're talking to people all the time and letting people know, okay? Don't take on board when people say to you, oh, you should be able to just brush yourself, or you'll feel happier tomorrow, or things along those lines, okay? It's not quite as simple as that. If it was as simple as that, then depression wouldn't exist. It wouldn't be the disability that it is. It wouldn't be the illness it is, okay? Now, I will say that I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook as well, okay? I'll put links in here, but you can find me at Bryn's Weight Loss Journey on both Facebook and Instagram. If you do feel that basically you want to talk, then my messages will always be open for you to talk to, okay? I can't promise I'll always be there to basically message back straight away, but I will message you back as soon as I've read the message, okay? Let's all fight this together and let's get onto a better place. Now, it's time for the weigh-in, okay? Let's finish this on some good news and let's do the weigh-in, and then we can work out exactly where we stand, okay? Remember those building blocks we talked about last week? Remember how we talked about basically moving forward and setting those goals up? I want you all to set your goals up this week, regardless of whether it's doing weight loss or not. Set the big goal up, what you want to achieve, and set those small, tiny building blocks up, goal by goal by goal by goal by goal, until you reach that main goal. And I promise you, you'll reach that main goal, okay? I love you all, and I'll speak to you later. Wow, guys, what a weigh-in that was. 212.8, that's 2.3 kilograms down from last week. What a result. I am so happy with that. It's over the moon. I can't wait to continue on this journey with you all and go from that. I'm not sure how much of it was with the new streamline haircut. You know, taking weight loss to serious extent now. Trimmed the beard and had the streamline haircut. Was my hair really weighing that much? Or was it a case that I've set those goals and basically we've achieved them by eating healthy, doing the exercise and moving forward, all right? Love you all, okay? Peace out. I shall speak to you another time, okay? Look out for more videos. Take care, bye.